Alright, this one I'm going to make sure it's just notes. I'm going to keep pausing it. I'm going to keep adding notes. Long day, it's already 11:30. Just watching the highway drive by. So I think I wrote it down, but I'll make it... I'll record it on audio as well. Just the thought about prophecy, about prophesying, and the predictions and scenarios that I lay out regarding critical activism and the coming together of the guild. I'm going to leave it open and hope that others will participate in sharing their own idea of the future, the way that they envision it, as well as expanding the strike point as they see fit. So I'm going to implement a protocol here for intercepting another strike point protocol. In other words, loading a previous strike point as a dependency. I guess in programming you would call it a dependency. So the dependency will be this expression, this set, this book, this whatever. And people can say, alright, read this, and then you're going to have a better explanation of what's going on, or just try and follow along. And I'll try to be fair. It's interesting just thinking about this ability to gauge or judge or try to test where people are at with their faith, with their coherence, as well as facilitating the increase of coherence. An example is, of course, using the death meme. One of the most powerful. Just, for example, to say, imagine that you're going to die and all the things that you have to let go of. The question is this comfortable? Okay, so in an abstract, theoretical way, people would think about that. But what I'm saying to do is to kill yourself in the moment. Imagine that you're dying right now and process what would happen, or try to process what your thoughts would be regarding that. This is a try death protocol. Try death. Just try it out. See if you can even manage to commit yourself to those thoughts, and maybe something might happen. So I'm talking about creating both the envelope and the payload of the guild, the ways in which we can interface and interact with others and try to help them facilitate their coherence and their revelations. Trying to gauge where people are at and try to speak into their lives, into their context. This is one of the most critical things, speaking into their context. In other words, this concept of intersecting the narrative, what narrative they have. You imagine where they're at and what their elements are, specifically what their reality might be, like their whole reality. You're simulating an entirely other reality. This is almost like having a separate APS, but it's done within the APS. And this is kind of a challenge of it, is that it's hard to imagine what's beyond your own imagination, beyond the set of your APS. This is the problem and tendency when trying to imagine somebody else's life or somebody else's experience. We only have our experiences, so we can only try and map things up. To realize that somebody has their own, totally own entire experience set, which formulate their reality, is quite an interesting illumination on the problem of alienation and of being able to interface with people. One day I will be dead. and potentially recordings like this and these so-called media expressions that are made will be all that remain of me aside from memory in a few select people. That's a ting. Although I feel right now like I would really like to have this media project done, I guess you could say I'm looking forward to having the work done. It already feels great that I'm kind of putting a cap on it right now. Am I? I think so. I kind of threw out some messages there that I'd kind of finished recording. We're at about, I think, 30 hours. But still things need to be done. So the October 2019 media expression project. The media expression October 2019 project. There's a few things I need to do. I need to finish recording, which I basically have done. This is just a victory lap or whatever, just a collection of a bunch of shit. So I've recorded this about 30 hours now of just straight strike point domain, trying to do what I call one strike point domain. So again, the whole time I'm kind of focused on this meta narrative, or this narrative of the strike point. Particular strike point domain, the arc of the narrative, the arcs of the lightning bolt, of the lightning strike through the domain, in which I made it a number of different, focusing on different communities, different stories that matter to different communities, kind of trying to link them all, string them all together, show some relations, at least some relation. So really I'm kind of pulling together all different networks that I currently interact with. I'm trying to show them how to interact with each other, kind of expand their awareness into other networks. Just kind of foster the all working together thing. The step outside your comfort zone thing stuff. So I think I'm done recording for now. I'll probably add some more stuff. Right now all I'm doing is just talking to myself to help assist myself to quickly see if I can get down some notes about the program that I'm running. So I guess this is what you would call as the program, is the whole strike point process, like the context in which the strike point is. So a strike point just being a protocol, managing constraints for a certain limited a thought form. So like a single instance of a thought form in which somebody is encountering a media expression such as this piece and putting together some thoughts. So that's the intention of this strike point, is to be a number of complete thoughts depending on perspective. more than one thought. It's been a long day. It's already midnight almost. So I want to download the remainder. There's probably 5 or 6 tracks on this recorder right now. Download those up and then start. Okay, first off, I have to check out this website that was suggested by not unoriginal. Suggested by not unoriginal, and it seemed like a good site, so I'm going to give it a try. And I think it's to do the amount of work that I needed to be done. I think, which is so 80th. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm at about 80,000 words, and 90,000, maybe 100. So under 100. Again, I want to greatly condense that to less than half for sure. The end product of any kind of book that I want to make is definitely at this point, at the rate of content that I'm able seemingly to pump out here, it looks like I can condense a lot of it down to some probably very more high quality, like in my mind 300 pages of a standard book. That I would never want to go past that, because I myself would never want to read past that. And so my thought process isn't to disqualify any book that's longer than say 300 or 400 pages, but I'm not expecting to read any or all of that. Even like 200 or 300 pages is like too much for me, or I don't read books, but I've got to figure out how to apprehend this library of mine that I've assembled, probably starting with quick overviews of each book and myself trying to, so I'll probably look back at some of the reviews of what was said about that to give like kind of like trying to give myself a context for viewing through these books. So each one I'll probably create some kind of little dossier entry for the book of why I wanted to read it, and then probably, I guess ideally notes after starting reading it, whether it is what I thought it was based on reviews or how different, and just do this shit for every book that I have, something like this. Like, why did I buy it? Every single book has a reason for buying it. I can easily look through all of the notes again and the reviews and find out which ones stuck out to me and what I was looking for and expecting out of that, and what part of things was I expecting to fill out. And then based on those that seem most promising for the most important areas that I want to fill out amongst the core, for those I will use those ones first, process those first. So uploading probably to YouTube, so I can. I've had for a while visions, I guess, of the way that I want to do this, envisioning what it's going to look like, and I like the idea of just my thought continuing to speak and talk and just talk about stuff, and I just keep talking, and the words never stop coming out of my mouth for too long, and it doesn't matter what pictures or image you put up, they're going to look probably pretty cool, and especially if I give kind of uplifting ideas and just images of joy and health and fun and stuff like that, which you see in a lot of house music videos, just on the beach and everybody in their swimming stuff and just enjoying life and all this kind of stuff. And of course, then me just utilizing this as a background for my speaking. And of course, there's noises of trucks. Right now, there's two big trucks going by, and so it just becomes a little bit more difficult. One is a double truck, the other just seems like a really long truck. Those were two big trucks, and of course the usual car traffic, 10 or 15 cars passing either way total combined over that time. So I was at transcribing and uploading the videos. Probably I want to get transcriptions done, but so I'm thinking, I think what was it, like free 10,000 and like subscription another 10,000. So no, it doesn't seem right. But anyways, so it's just a reminder. I have to look at the pricings of this thing. Otherwise, try to utilize something free, like a suggestion that was given to me to use a Translate Common G program for translating or something, and then just have the recorder physically sitting in front of the microphone or a speaker in front of the mic, just listening to itself. Like, seems like that would be probably a much lower quality of the audio that's being decoded or whatever. So that's tricky to think. I don't know if that would work too well. Probably not as good as the direct files themselves analyzed just by program. So either one, I can probably start putting up voice without even transcripts yet. People will. That's the product. The transcript is nothing much after it. And then what I wanted to do is spell check the transcript. In other words, have people read over the transcript and just see if it makes sense. That's all I care about. I don't care if it matches the video, but as long as it makes sense, hopefully it does match and does make sense. And that's it. And hopefully that would catch any of the times where I either completely stop talking about something or just skip around or whatever, so that these portions can be highlighted and corrected whenever we. So the next step would be to copy them out to a separate document again, which I talked about, which would be for the book itself. So for this compiled sort of media expression, I'm going to have an ongoing document for the compiled, whatever is going to be in the book, whatever I've thought of so far, which I want in there, and the ongoing work for connecting those pieces and for filling in blanks and adding more stuff. So other sections of the book. Basically, this is the first section. This is the strike point domain section. This is just me trying to paint a big picture through which some narratives can be struck, through which I'm just trying to set up a scene and facilitate some visions. So as I said before, and I think this would be great to just go over my old expressions, any of my old stuff, any and all, and this will take up a whole other section. probably not as big, maybe probably hopefully much smaller, but and probably not even quote too much, like just quote the most minimum from any of these other documents. Take out the juiciest bits, the ones that feel great, that like, yeah, like I've been talking about the same thing for a long time, and now I've been able to express much more of it. So just kind of pointing the parallels in relationships, anything that's kind of vindicating, I will personally appreciate and enjoy writing and reading, and it'll help people to understand that this is a progression, that my work is a progression, that things have been making sense for a long time. It's just that it's tough to reach you and reach people and find ways through the media, through whatever, to capture that attention, to find you, hello. There you are. So reviewing my documents, and then another section, probably the fourth section, I haven't articulated the third yet, I don't know if I have one, but anyways, probably the last I think would be the prophecy section, and I really want to involve the community from day one and say, like, this whole thing like implies so much, and what is your vision on reality and on the future? What is your hyperstition? What is your code of conduct that's helping you through, and how do you see it as part of something in our shared future? So right away I want to link to that ability for people to add their hyperstitions. I don't know if it's going to be a Reddit post, probably that's what we do. Share your hyperstitions. Maybe even this could be part of a Reddit post for SOTs to kind of help people jump in or introduce from the subreddit. So probably skip right to the last part where I started exploring Sorcery of the Spectral. Maybe Alphabetica and SOTs, maybe one and then the other. Probably one could make sense before the other. I think the order that I had it would work. But just to make something relevant for the SOTs community and kind of intersect them where they are. Maybe I could make a post saying what is SOTs, and then just link straight to that. I think I have a recording that starts with the question, what is SOTs, what is sorcery, what is spectacle, and just goes on. Maybe I'll start there just for SOTs sake, and then link right away to like the previous recording. I'll like link that up, the previous hour's recording somehow. Probably make it known right near the start that there is the previous one, like there is an introduction of Alphabetica and the Great Axial War, and just to give more context. I think that would probably help. And then I had the church before that, so this is all kind of interesting stuff. Just to give perspective, but the Great Axial War stuff, I think cool and awesome, but and also definitely the church, the stuff about the church kind of gives that power and understanding to that issue of the Great Axial War, the sort of, in some ways, the Cold War between the participant and membership societies. So a post for SOTs. Leading through to critical activism. just having that all there. I think it's a great introduction. I think people from the sub would appreciate it. I wonder if it could be any more explicit or spelled out, literally spelled out. Any kind of word guidance, descriptions. So make a post on Reddit. What is SOTS? Bring up that old trope. Who am I? The who am I trope. To the SOTS network. What is SOTS? Just having ideas of participating, having the comments participate by giving credit to certain users, thanking them, and adding to structure things that people are suggesting, or trying to dynamically do this with their comments, even though they don't know how to do it. Just listen to them. So Reddit post this expression. What is SOTS? Maybe I could rate a waypoint to some of the past analysis I've done in some of my past published writings on, I guess, Medium or whatever. Just getting this feeling like whatever I do on Reddit, I shouldn't limit myself to one particular medium. And for sure, as I have been doing, expressing other media, such as even in-person connection through certain private properties of certain coffee restaurants, etc. So what to do with this recording session, what to do with this recorder, what to do so that I don't have to look at this this recorder anymore. That's what I'm really trying to discuss. What do I do to get this thing out from in front of me? How do I progress on to the next sort of stage? What does the next phase look like? How do the outputs of this phase kind of flow into the inputs of the next phase? So what am I going to do with this recording? So transcription, of course, into text, and as well as simply speaking into like YouTube. I was thinking to have a video so that the audio being overlaid over certain videos of whatever I choose to make, and then with the potential of having subtitles for what's being spoken, just in case some things don't seem very legible or hearable, and the subtitles will be available. But really just for the aesthetic. I suspect that the transcripts themselves will be most useful and the most used. But if people feel like listening to this stuff, all the power to you, and hello. And it's great. It's great to have people. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this space with me, where I know that you are listening and you are hearing me. And you are the person sometime in the future, 1 in a million. So YouTube music videos, so to speak, just rip off some house music backgrounds or whatever, some beaches, some islands, some good times, some good vibes, whatever, just good chill in the background, and just a continuation of me talking through all these 30 hours. I was pondering if it would be better to have a black screen. I don't know if YouTube will or whatever will use a lot of bandwidth to have video with that. I have no idea. I know it does. At least it's doubling it or more. At least. Yeah, it's kind of what makes me wish sometimes that type of software had the option for even disabling video. Even at YouTube, just disable video. Oh, but it's a video site, so blah blah, whatever. They have this objective. Anyways, very popular site, obviously. That's why I would choose that over something like SoundCloud, maybe, which people don't, not as many people use or are familiar with. Even how to use the controls and stuff, and YouTube is familiar, whatever, if it's using more bandwidth. I like the aesthetic thing. I want it to be videos. Hopefully I can get away with repurposing. Just obviously nothing of this for profit or anything like that. Just for this aesthetic that I want. I want good times and good vibes for what I'm talking about. I want people to see that, but just to kind of lift things into their proper perspective, as they often tend to wander into dark areas or thoughts and all this critical stuff. So let's say I'm sharing one transcript and one video at a time so making a playlist, a YouTube playlist, to have these videos in order, to have each transcript as its own separate document, its own Google document. Each is going to have its own document to be able to go into and modify. I don't want them all the same, just because of the easier chances of just screwing things up, I suppose. I'd rather just have a separate document for each file. There's probably 16, 17 files, who knows, whatever, it doesn't matter. And each one, and this is also, like, nothing would stop me from also having a master document, which I would just update in snapshot form, to be able to search for things. That's probably what I would do. But then each selection would have its own, just for being able to reference files and to finding the spot and the place, to make things easier, not to get lost in a big sea of pages or whatever. Just have file names. File name matches up with the document name. And then have a master list of all the documents, which have all the transcripts, and as well, when referencing each document, so you're going to have a table, 2 columns, or whatever. Each document is matching up with a particular YouTube link to a file, link to a YouTube video. This being matched up with a link to, say, a Google document for that file. And then, of course, one master file with the whole, like a snapshot, like latest snapshot. And just keep adding these one at a time as I go along, as I'm able to transcribe and create these videos, music video, whatever. I hope I can just do it a very easy, quick way, that it won't take so long. And I'm probably not gonna take out or censor any of the whatever. There's like some parts where I either just completely forget something what I'm talking about or whatever, or I talk about smoking marijuana or other things, just whatever, doesn't matter. I may think of one or two, I don't know, there's maybe one or whatever, doesn't even matter. The worst it is like talking about smoking at the beginning of one segment that I know of. The only thing that I was like, is that great or encouraging or whatever. So that's probably it. If the only one and only thing that I probably might. And I don't really care that much. I think I talked about it quite a bit in the leading up to the church section, or part of the church section, talking about addiction and accountability, accountability partnership within a Christian setting. So yeah, a master document with 2 columns, one column for the Google document, and then associated in that row with a YouTube link, and just have all of this whole recording session, may or may not including this part. Yeah, probably, why not, whatever. But who knows if I'll actually use it or whatever. I think it's interesting detail. So then I'll be able to invite people from the network. I'm wondering, there's probably a record of changes to be able to track records, but I'm just thinking, like, should I leave it open to anybody to edit and make changes, or just leave it open to suggestions and then approve suggestions? Probably approve suggestions, just so I can keep control of the whole text, because it's going to be, well, it would be fucked with. I would fuck with it. I don't know, maybe, no, I wouldn't, but it's just an obvious, easy fuck with. So probably allow edits with approval. And of course, anybody can make any comments they want anywhere. Just try to keep it more or less controlled structure, and allow the transcripts to be gone over, and hopefully people have questions that are able to help develop those, to fill in any blanks, to link up certain things that didn't seem solid, or that people didn't understand how one thing links to another, what the relevance of one part is to another, or what their particular perspective has, like maybe questions regarding their particular perspective. In other words, their context, everybody's unique context. Crutch protocol is interesting. To be able to put inline instructions to where appropriate to help people to make higher level cognitive functionality or synchronicities, assistance. So, I mean, I've been out here for a bit. We got 45 minutes already, and I'm just talking nonsense and notes to myself. Maybe something can be salvaged out of it, but anyways, so the plan to stop using this recorder and to switch over to publishing mode. So make that master document with the table, Google document to YouTube link per row, that will help people to flow and filter through the documents to read it from in sort of chronological order, as well as giving perhaps a title to each. So another row for another column for title, and giving a slight descriptive title. The life of a fish. I wonder if our fish perceive the highway as some kind of distant oceanic orchestra. So I need to make this master document, and then I need to start basically sharing a link to that. That's it. A link to the master document, and this will be linked to from the SOTS post that I make. SOTS post that I make pointing to what is SOTS, one of the later recordings. Later in the series. Just link straight there just to help people to get into it. It's nice and quiet. Here comes another car. So even if I don't figure out how to make the music video, I still need to upload the MP3, or just see if I can upload an MP3 to YouTube, or if I have to mix it somehow, or how to mix it with another video. Just, I guess, depending on the size of the video, I can use certain whatever house music videos of certain lengths, or certain mix videos where there's stuff happening. Just use that as the video background and overlay the audio track. That, I'm sure that's been done in YouTube a long time ago, where you could do that and just kind of split off a new video out of that. So either way, I think I have to upload the MP3s. Maybe not. Let's look into that. That's one of the primary things to look into. So I can get even just MP3s uploaded. Doesn't matter, whatever it takes. Just upload the MP3s. That's the first priority. Next priority is to sign up for this service for the transcription by robot or AI. Just give that a test, throw a few files through it, and just fill up my limit, see how it goes. If all is going well and as planned, then perhaps purchase some kind of license on that software, or I think it's like a subscription for a certain number of words per month, which again, so I'm at like an insane amount as far as what I suspected I might do. So which is, we're almost at probably 100,000, between 80 and 100,000 words. So that's like 600 pages in a standard book. So again, I want to get rid of more than half of it, which makes sense, because although I was trying to talk as just quickly and without delay as possible, Still, in most cases, I was not speaking very fast. I was probably medium to slow. And of course, pauses and breaks. So I need to create some initial Google documents to contain the transcriptions. I'll just copy them into that document. I can create the master document. I can create the table in that master document. I can start linking to the initial Google documents without anything else to be filled in later by transcription service. And the YouTube, hopefully I can quickly upload something just to put it there, just to have even a few hours, just to help people digest or begin digesting. Yeah, and probably even the times that I was thinking the times that I said that I'll clip something because of embarrassment or whatever. Like, I want this aesthetic. I think it's good just to be sitting here having a conversation with you, to you, at you, and just rolling along with words. I think it's been very effective. I've articulated many things that I've wanted to for quite a bit of time. It's been building up. And again, I'm grateful, very thankful that I have this opportunity to do so, and thankful for my network and the people and relationships people that I know, and to which especially that this type of expression that I'm doing and the stuff that I talk about and research and look into, and the things that I sense which are important to me and those around me, which I deeply know is important and which I pursue. Just thanks. Grateful for all of this. So really the YouTube videos would be easy, making blank Google documents be easy, the master document easy. I can link at least this shell onto Telegram. I could probably do all this within under 20 minutes just to get some uploads of the first uploads, just to let people start digging into it. I think that would be alright. Yep, and then I can just carry on as I carry on. Cheers.